Okay, we are here to do the Sonora Desert Survival Synchronous Simulation project together. I'm Rachel, and I've been noted to be the team captain, so I've set this up and have a recording going. And if everyone else wants to go ahead and introduce themselves, and Andrew, we can start with you.
I'm Andrew Jew. I'm in the Healthcare Administration program. I'm all the way out here in New York, and I am the one of us without the webcam. So
I didn't realize you were in New York right now. I'm glad you could join us.
yeah.
Okay, Claire?
Okay, hi, I'm Claire. I'm in the BSN program, and I'm just in Madrid right now, so.
You're close. Okay, and go ahead, Olivia.
I'm Olivia, and I will be starting the radiology program in 2 weeks.
All right, very good. And as I said, I'm Rachel, and I'm in the RN to BSN program. So I've been a nurse for 25 years, so I have a lot of experience, but not a lot of experience with the technology, so I'm learning that part of it. Okay, so the first step in our project here, I'm going to read through the situation, and then we'll discuss our task. So it is approximately 10 a.m. in mid-August, and you have just crash landed in the Sonora Desert in southwestern United States. The light twin-engine plane containing the bodies of the pilot and the co-pilot has completely burned. Only the airframe remains. None of the rest of you have been injured. The pilot was unable to notify anyone of your position before the crash. However, he had indicated before impact that you were 70 miles southwest from a mining camp, which is the nearest known habitation, and that you were approximately 65 miles off the course that was filed in your VFR flight plan. The immediate area is quite flat, and except for occasional beryl and saguaro cacti, appears to be rather barren. The last weather report indicated the temperature would reach 110 degrees that day, which means that the temperature at ground level will be 130 degrees. You are dressed in lightweight clothing, short sleeve shirts, pants, socks, and street shoes. Everyone has a handkerchief. Collectively, your pockets contain $2.83 in change, $85 in bills, a pack of cigarettes, and a ballpoint pen. So our task, before the plane caught fire, the group was able to salvage 15 items that is listed on our page. And we are tasked with ranking these items according to their order of importance to survival, starting with 1 as being the most important and 15 is the least important. We can assume that the number of, that there are 4 survivors, that's the 4 of us. We're the actual people in the situation. The team has agreed to stick together, and all items on the list are in good condition. So the first step of the project is for everybody to individually rank the items. I don't know if anyone has had a chance to do that yet. I've kind of done it. So if you want to take a few minutes to do that and just let me know when you're done, then we can discuss the next steps. Or does anyone have any questions about that part of it?
Sorry, got a little visitor.
Yes, you do. They always want to be in there just like kids. All right, go ahead and do your individual ranking, and then we will go to the next step. And let me know when you're ready.
I am ready to go on to the next step.
Okay. Claire, are you done with yours?
Yeah, I've kind of already done this like thing before, so yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, you should know all the answers then. We'll follow your lead. How about you, Andrew? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just about done, right?
Okay.
Right, you know.
We'll give you a couple more minutes. Don't rush.
Okay, yeah, I'm all done here.
All right. So the next step is to discuss our individual rankings and then come to a consensus as a team in step 2 to rank each item. Olivia, do you want to start and maybe just name your top 3?
I have the quart of water for each person as 1, the mirror as 2, and then the top coat as 3.
The top coat?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Claire, what about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I have the mirror as 1, the top coat as 2, and then the water as 3.
Okay. What about you, Andrew?
I had the 1 quart of water per person, number 1. Number 2 is the book entitled Edible Animals of the Desert. And number 3 was the mirror.
Okay. We were all pretty close because I had the water as 1, the parachute as 2, and the cosmetic mirror as 3. So we're kind of on the same lines there. What about the bottom 3? Andrew, what did you have for the bottom 3?
The bottom 3, I had the salt tablets,
Okay.
the flashlight, and the raincoat.
Okay. Claire, what about you?
The last one I had the sectional air map of the area, the plastic raincoat, and then a pair of sunglasses per person.
Okay. And what about you, Olivia?
The air map, the salt tablets, and the book about the edible animals.
Okay. And I had, let me see, I had the book about the edible animals, the vodka, and the salt tablets. So we're not too far off. And when I was doing this in my head, I was kind of looking at, you know, what I really thought needed and what I really thought we didn't need it. But so based on your responses, and I don't need to lead the conversation necessarily, so feel free to jump in, but it appears like it appears that we all decided that we would stay with the at the crash site. Is that what everybody agrees?
Yeah, I feel like walking, you would just exhaust yourself and then die. Well.
Yeah, and the heat too. So I'm interested to hear from Andrew because you had chosen the book of edible animals as one of the top things. And what's your rationale for that, and why do you think that should be in our top 3?
Well, just for myself, I've never really been out there in the desert, so I'm not too well educated on what we're able to eat and what we shouldn't be eating. So
yeah,
I had it going number 2 just because we're gonna need to eat sooner or later, and I'd rather know what's safe to eat and what's not.
Yeah, and I don't have survival skills either, and no Girl Scout or Boy Scout training, so I wasn't exactly sure either. But everybody had water as one of the top 3, right?
Yep.
Yep. And then the mirror, and then you guys had the top coat too. So so now we need to decide how to rank these as a team. And so between the cosmetic mirror, the water, the top coat, who feels strongly about the water or the cosmetic mirror being number 1?
I think the water, just because that's something that is needed for survival. There's a very short amount of time that you can go without it. So
Yeah.
should be the one concern for someone stranded in the desert. Water,
Yeah.
I think.
Being in the desert. And Claire, if you've done this before and you know the answers, you kind of have. I mean, I don't want you to steer it too much, but certainly we want your input too. So.
Well, I have the water as being in the top 3, so we can just put it first because I mean, dehydration's a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and dehydration can happen fairly quickly, even to the healthiest of people when you're in the desert. So we're all agreeing that the water is number 1.
Yep.
Okay, so on your sheet in step 2, you put that as number 1. Okay, so number 2, it sounds like we have the mirror, the top coat. Andrew had the book, and he gave the rationale for that, and I know the rationale for the mirror as well, and that's because it can help to potentially locate you with a reflection, correct?
Yes.
So if we've decided to stay at the camp,
I also listed the mirror because it had the potential to start a fire. With,
yeah.
The sun.
Yeah, that's
especially at night in the desert, it gets really cold. So
do we all want to agree that would be number 2 then?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
You okay with that, Andrew? Okay. Well, you guys are making this easy. So agreeable. It might get harder in the middle.
but I think the end's the hard part.
Oh, really? Okay, so number 3. I had the mirror as number 3, and what did I have as number 2? I don't remember. The parachute. And I guess I was thinking just with the parachute, again, that's another thing if you're staying at camp that rescuers might be looking for. I presume they're brightly colored so that they would be easily seen. And the reason for the top coats?
At night, desert can get really cold.
Okay.
That's my biggest argument. They can get like blazingly hot during the day and like freezing at night.
Okay.
And it's easy to carry if we did decide to move.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay. And I'm comfortable with that too. Andrew, what do you think?
I'm fine with that decision to make it 3 if everyone agrees on that.
Okay, so we have the top coat as number 3. Number 4.
I had the jackknife for number 4.
Okay.
Just where you could use it to hunt and then also for protection, I guess.
Yeah. And I had the jackknife as number 5, so that is close for me. What about the other 2?
I had the jackknife as 5.
Okay. And what did you have as 4, Olivia?
I have the raincoat, so you could use it as kind of shelter to protect yourself from just the environment.
Okay. And Andrew?
Is this for 4 or for 5?
4. We're on 4.
I had the map ranked as 4, just so you could like potentially find a way out of the situation you're in.
Mm-hmm.
There may be like some civilization or something.
Yeah. Well, it said in the reading that the nearest habitation was 70 miles away. So I personally had the map ranked a little further down just because, you know, if your initial plan is to stay at the site, because you don't think you can walk to an area of habitation in that area, then the map may not be as necessary as something that you need at the site. So does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to move a couple of items on my list.
Well, don't change your first step. The instructions were clear that, you know, leave your individual rankings the way they were. I don't think we're necessarily graded on how far off, because this class isn't a class in survival; it's a class in communications. So it's more about working together to come to a consensus. So I'm fine with jackknife being 4.
Yep.
Yep. Everybody else is. I know that's what 2 had already, or I guess Claire did that, and Olivia and I had it as 5. So I'm fine with that being 4. And
I do like your idea about the parachute too, because it says it's red and white, so that'd be easy to see in a desert.
yeah, and it could also provide some, you could be laying under it at night if you had to, so it could provide some shielding from the elements, I guess. So would that be more, would that be more valuable than the raincoat? I don't know. It could serve the dual role. I guess my thought is it could serve a dual role with providing the shielding, warmth, and then being more easy to see for rescuers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could go with like the parachute for 5 and the raincoat for 6.
Yep. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Andrew, looks like you're not eating anytime soon. So what did we say? The parachute for 5 and the raincoat for 6?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Andrew, because of my healthcare experience, I can tell you, and there's not necessarily a way that you would know this, but you can actually go quite a long time without food. Not nearly as much time without water, especially in the desert, but you can go. You can go.
If I was in the desert, I'd probably just drink all the vodka and call it a day.
Yeah, call it good. If I'm going out happy.
I think I'm just a naturally hungry person all the time.
Well, of course, you're a young, fit male, so taking a lot of calories. But you won't die of starvation out there. Probably you'll die of something else before starvation. I'm thinking. But there has to be a reason they put this on the list, so. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're at number 7. So we're kind of getting in the middle here. We've talked about flashlight. We've talked about map.
For 7, I had the pistol.
I was looking at that too.
Yep, I have the pistol as well.
Okay. Olivia, you have any?
I have the pistol as 7.
Okay, well, perfect. I have it as 12, but probably just because I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Well, but you could like use it to like shoot it, and then maybe like as a club or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, you could, yeah. And if you think there's anyone that's close enough to hear or to see the shot, that even without, I don't know what kind of animals are out there that might, that you'd have to protect yourself from. But okay, so I'm good with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so number 8.
I have the sunglasses as 8.
Okay, and why is that? Just because of the protecting your eyes?
Right.
Okay. What is anybody else?
What? Sorry.
Andrew, go ahead. What do you have as 8, or how do you feel about the sunglasses being ranked about right there in the middle?
I had the vodka just as like a form of like a disinfectant or just, I don't know.
Yeah, and I thought of that too. It didn't say anyone was injured, but certainly we could get injured.
Yeah.
There's also the compress kit too.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the idea of the sunglasses.
Okay.
I actually had those ranked really low, but after hearing, like, I didn't even think about the reflection of like the sun and stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I had them down further too, but I did think about that. I was just trying to think of also, if you're during the day, I mean, I can't even imagine being stranded in the desert, and maybe you would need the level of protection as sunglasses. But I was just thinking if one of the other things that we already had could also shield your eyes, so to speak. Yeah. If you can put the top coat or whatever over your eyes during the day or over the but I suppose they could also be used as a reflection too, if depending on the type of sunglasses they are.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyone have strong feelings otherwise?
No.
Nope.
All right, let's put that next. All right, so we're over halfway.
Woo.
Number 9.
Now it's where it gets fun.
Yeah. Well, does anyone, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not that dark out in the desert if it's lit up by the moon and the stars, but is anyone thinking that we need to have a flashlight?
I know, I kind of forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
I had it really low, but I think it might need to be higher.
Yeah, I had the flashlight as 6 just because you could use it to like as a signaling device.
Yeah, at night.
Yeah. And I actually had it at 4. But do we think this flashlight needs to go in front of the sunglasses, or?
I had it a lot lower just because, one, if you do have batteries with it, then there's a chance that they could run out. And 2, it didn't really specify that batteries came with it. It said that it had the capacity for it, but like with the pistol, it said it was loaded, and it gave specific like.
So you had it lower, meaning less important?
I had it a lot lower on my list.
Okay. Okay.
There's the compress kit still with gauze, or the vodka, like Andrew said.
So do we think? So we have kind of some groups here. We have the map and the compass, which they seem like they would go together. And the compress kit and the vodka seems like they should go close together.
Yeah.
And then the flashlight. Salt tablets was pretty low on everybody's.
Yeah. Do you just want to put that as last?
I was just about to say salt tablets I had as dead last.
Okay.
Yeah. We can just do that now.
Got that taken care of.
Woo.
All right. So yeah, now it's just the map and the compass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the map and the compass, the vodka and the gauze,
And the
flashlight, and the book.
I feel like the kit with the gauze and the vodka would be higher, just since we decided to stay in case you get injured.
And
Did we lose her?
Yeah, I think so.
Andrew, are you still there?
Hello? Yes.
Okay. I think she froze. Oh, there we go.
there we go.
Okay.
We were wondering where you went.
I could see you guys, but no one was moving. Okay, so I just said, do we think the alcohol and gauze kit should go ahead of the flashlight? Or put the flashlight and then those two and the compass and map?
I'm fine with however the setup is from here on.
Okay. No strong feelings otherwise.
We could, if we want to like do a little bit of both, we could put the compress, then the flashlight, then the vodka.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I think that's a good idea actually.
So the compress is going to be 9. Flashlight is 10. The vodka is 11. And then we have the map.
Hold on, my like little table is being crazy. So what did we have for 9? The compress. 9.
Yes.
And then the flashlight.
The compress is 9. The flashlight is 10. The vodka is 11.
Maybe map and then compass, because you can't really use your compass without map.
Right.
Yep. So we'll do 12, 13, and the book is 14.
So map 12.
Yep. Compass is 13. Book is 14.
Okay, and then I have the real rankings too. whenever we're ready for that.
Oh, you already have that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just pulled it up while we were waiting.
Okay, very good. So, all right, so we've completed our ranking as a group. Felt like everybody was able to give their input and we came to a consensus easily, but probably because no one has been in the desert, so we're just figuring this out together. Okay, so now step 3 is to, in step 3, it says to take time to thoroughly answer the following questions. What process did you follow in dealing with your team ranking and survival problem?
I think just like teamwork and being open.
Yeah. Well, and we first made the decision to stay or go, and we all agreed that staying was the right option, so that was easy.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
The first question says, of step 3 is what process did you follow in dealing with your team ranking and survival? And we'd said, well, first of all, we all easily agreed that we would stay at the site, so that made that part easier.
We had like a common objective in mind, so then
yep.
we chose like the necessary tools to make that a success.
Common objective, yeah, and chose the tools based on the decision that we had made. Right. And luckily, we were pretty close on what we felt the top and the bottom items were. What issues or questions were considered or discussed? Well, we discussed the value of each item and the different things it could provide in different ways. You know, the parachute as a shield, and the pistol as a signal. So, and I mean, I feel like we did a good job of discussing that and making our decisions based on the different multiple options for different items.
Mm-hmm. I think really after our top 2 options, like we were all able to agree on those, and then really after all that, we all put different answers down for everything, and our list probably looked a lot different than each other. So. Right. Yeah, it helped having some agreement from the beginning. To what extent and in what order were the items considered? So we talked about that. We talked about what we definitely felt were the top 3. We talked about what we felt were probably the bottom 3, and then worked through the middle. That seemed to work pretty well. Right. And then it says, what decision did your team make regarding whether or not you stayed or walked? And I guess, and we decided to stay. It said if you walked, did you decide to do it during the day or night? But
yeah, it said like you could only walk like 15 miles during the day and like 20 miles at night, and you probably die the next day.
Oh yeah. Well, I figured something like that. Yeah, so it says if you decided to walk, it is estimated that those who decided to walk would probably not live beyond the second day after walking less than 33 miles, assuming you only walked at night. If you decided to walk during the day, you would probably be dead the next day after having walked less than 12 miles. So I guess we made the right decision there. And it says if you decided to stay, you would have about an 80% chance of being rescued within 24 hours. Yeah, because it had a flight plan, so an air search would begin. The mirror, parachute, flashlight, and the crash site itself are excellent signals. And then it said there's military and commercial and private air traffic in this area. So, and that's the only thing I was going on, because without any survival skills experience, I know I'd heard that if you're ever stranded that you're supposed to stay at your site or stay where you are. So, right. So we made the right decision. I'm not sure how far off we were. I guess we'll find that out next. So Claire, you said you already looked up all the...
Yeah, I just pulled up the paper.
So we can all fill in step 3 if you just want to go down the list and tell us what the number is.
Okay, so do you want me to go in like number order or just top to bottom?
Why don't you go in number order, because then
Okay.
we'll kind of see what the experts' opinions were as we're doing this.
Okay, so for number 1, it was the cosmetic mirror.
Okay.
Number 2 was the top coat per person.
All right.
Number 3 was the quart of water per person.
Okay. Oh, we're not too far off there.
Number 4 was the flashlight.
Oh, darn.
I was going to say that one got us.
Yep.
Number 5 was the parachute. So we got that one.
Okay, yeah, right on there.
Number 6 was the jackknife.
Okay, not too far there.
Number 7 was the raincoat. We really closed that one too.
7 raincoat. Why can't I find that on my list? Oh, there it is. Good.
Number 8 was the pistol.
Okay. Hey, we're close.
Number 9 was the sunglasses.
All right.
Number 10 was the compress kit with gauze.
All right.
Number 11 was the compass.
Okay.
Number 12 was the map.
Okay.
Number 13 was the book.
All right. Gosh, we were close.
Number 14 was the vodka.
All right.
And the number 15 was the salt.
Oh, good. Wow. We did better than I thought we would. That's really good. So now we need to, let me find the instructions here for the next step. As a team, consider below how the experts would have ranked each of the 15 items and why for your best chances of team survival. Share with each other any insights gained. So in their description here, they said the cosmetic mirror is absolutely critical because it's the most power tool you have for communicating your presence. In sunlight, it can generate 5 to 7 million candle power of light. And the reflected sunbeam can even be seen beyond the horizon. If you had no other items, you would still have better than an 80% chance of being spotted and picked up within the first 24 hours. Wow, I didn't realize it was that powerful.
Yeah. Jeez. I'm going to carry one of those from now often.
Yeah, have that little compact in your purse or on your person in case you get stranded. The top coat will actually not only protect you from the elements, but slows down dehydration.
Sorry.
So 40% of body moisture that is lost through dehydration is lost through respiration and perspiration. That makes sense. And this is I know this too. Moisture lost through respiration can be cut significantly by remaining calm. So people hyperventilate and blow off a lot of moisture. And then moisture lost through perspiration can be cut by preventing the hot, dry air from circulating next to the skin. So the top coat is actually the best way to do that. And without it, they say survival would be cut by at least a day. So that's probably better than the parachute, I guess. The parachute might be okay at night as far as keeping you warm, but it wouldn't help you during the day because it would probably be too much. The quart of water, that's pretty obvious, but here it says you could probably survive 3 days with just the first 2 items. So the quart of white water would not significantly extend survival time, but it would help hold off the effects of dehydration. It would be best to drink the water as you become thirsty so that you can remain clear-headed during the day when you have important decisions to make. And then once dehydration begins, it's pretty much impossible to reverse in that situation, so you would want to ration it. But I think it was pretty obvious that water would be a pretty key element in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
The flashlight can signal at night. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. We weren't really talking about the signaling at night, but And then with it in the mirror, so with that in the mirror, you have 24-hour signaling capability. During the day, the reflector and lens could be used as an auxiliary signal for starting a fire. And the battery container could be used for digging or as a water container in the distillation process with the plastic raincoat. That makes sense. Parachute can serve as a shelter and a signaling device, which is what we discussed. The saguaro cactus could serve as a tent pole, and the parachute shrouds as tent ropes. So double or triple folding the parachute would give shade dark enough to reduce the temperature as much as 20%.
Nice.
So it would provide shade, and I guess at night it would provide warmth. Number 6 was the jackknife.
This is that to help with like building shelter.
Yep, rigging shelter, cutting up cactus for moisture. So you must be able to get some moisture from inside the cactus leaves. Is that what it's like?
Inside like the cactus itself.
Oh,
okay. You like drill a hole or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I saw it on a Netflix show or something.
Okay. I've never heard of that before. Again, not been in the desert. But it says multiple uses will give that a high ranking. The plastic raincoat, it says the non-porous materials have made it possible to build a solar still. So dig a hole, place the raincoat over it. The temperature differential will extract some moisture from urine-soaked sand and pieces of barrel cactus and produce condensation on the underside of the plastic. By placing a small stone in the center of the plastic, a cone shape can be formed and cause moisture to drip into the flashlight container buried in the center of the hole. Up to a quart a day could be obtained in this way. This would be helpful, but not enough to make any significant difference. The physical activity required to extract the water is likely to use up about twice as much body water as could be gained. So, yeah, you wouldn't want to do a lot of exertion because you get dehydrated that much faster. And as it said earlier, once you go down that route, it's hard to recover. Okay, the pistol is next, and you're right, Andrew, it says loaded. So it said by the end of the second day, you'd be seriously impaired and you might be unable to walk. The pistol could then be used as a sound signaling device and the bullets as a quick fire starter. The international distress signal is 3 shots in rapid succession. And there have been numerous cases of survivors going undetected because they couldn't make any loud sounds. And the butt of the pistol might be used as a hammer. Claire was thinking of using it as a weapon, but same type of thing. And finding multiple uses. So the sunglasses, so the intense sunlight of the desert, photophthalmia and solar retinitis, which is similar to the effects of snow blindness, could be serious problems, especially during the second day. So in that situation, the other things to shield your eyes wouldn't be enough protection. It does say the dark shade of the parachute shelter would reduce the problem, as would darkening the areas around the eyes with soot from the wreckage. Using a handkerchief or compressed material as a veil with eye slits cut into it would eliminate the vision problem, but sunglasses would make things more comfortable. All right, the compress kit with gauze. Oh, this is interesting. Because of the desert's low humidity, it's considered one of the least infectious places in the world. And due to the fact that the blood thickens with dehydration, there is little danger from bleeding unless a vein is severed. In one well-documented case, a man, lost and without water, who had torn off all his clothes and fallen among sharp cactus and rocks until his body was covered with cuts, didn't bleed until he was rescued and given water. The kit materials might be used as rope or wrapping for legs, ankles, and head to protect against dehydration and sunlight. So again, multiple uses for, always have to consider the multiple uses for the items that you have. So the compass, you can use its reflective surfaces as a signaling device. It's otherwise of little use. It could even be dangerous to have around once the effects of dehydration take hold, because it might give someone the notion of walking out. The map might be helpful for starting a fire or for toilet paper, so there's no intent to use it as a map. You might use it as a head cover or eye shade. It might have entertainment value, but is useless. I'm surprised it's not lower on the list. The book about edible animals says the same thing. The problem is dehydration, not starvation. Energy expanded in hunting would be costly in terms of water loss leading to dehydration. Desert animals are seldom seen. They survive by lying low, as should the survivors. If the hunt was successful, the intake of protein would cause an increase in the amount of water used to process the protein. So general rule of thumb, if you have lots of water, eat, otherwise don't. And then it says, although the book might contain useful information, it would be difficult to adjust your eyes to reading it as well. Okay, for the vodka, alcohol absorbs water, so when people are alcoholics, they usually die of dehydration. The body loses an enormous amount of water while trying to throw off alcohol. We lose about 2 to 3 ounces of water per ounce of alcohol. Consuming the vodka would be lethal in this situation. It might be helpful to start a fire or as a temporary coolant for the body, and the bottle would be useful. And the bottle of salt tablets, they said widespread myths about salt tablets exist. The first problem is that with dehydration and loss of water, blood salinity increases. Sweat contains less salt than extracellular fluids. Without lots of extra water, the salt tablets would require body water to get rid of the increased salinity. And the effect would be like drinking seawater. So they would really not be helpful at all. So I think a lot of that aligned with what we had discussed. So good job on that part. Anybody have any further discussion about those points or thoughts or?
Some of the stuff they came up with was like so high tech.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let me make sure I'm not missing a step here. I feel like I did miss a step. So we need to, in step 4, we need to calculate the difference between your individual ranking and the experts ranking. So if everybody wants to go ahead and do that with their individual scores, so you're comparing column 1 to column 3 and putting that number in column 4. It'll just take a few minutes to do that. I feel like I was off more than the team was.
Me too.
Ooh, I really missed the top coat. And then it looks like you have to add them up.
Yep.
10. Ooh. I did not have a good score.
I had 24.
I had 34. I think we got to add these up and divide to get the average individual score. 34 plus 24. Andrew, do you have yours?
I'm calculating it right now.
So am I. I did the wrong column, so.
I'll give you a couple more minutes.
Not bad.
Mine was not good at all.
What's yours?
Mine was very bad. It was 54.
Oh boy. You're there. Andrew, 54. Olivia, 24. Do you got yours, Claire?
Almost.
I think I was adding wrong.
Mine was 42.
Okay. Oh, I added them wrong. So 54 plus 24 plus 42 plus 34 divided by 4. Our average individual score is 38.5.
32, so you said?
Andrew was 54, Olivia 24, Rachel 34, Claire 42. You might want to check my calculations. Did everybody get 38.5 as the average individual score?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we have to do the team score.
Difference, and I was kind of doing that while you were.
I got 22 for
Yep.
So did I.
That's what I got too. So that fills in step 7. So the gain score, calculate the numerical difference between the team score and the average individual score. So 13.5. No, 16.5.
Yep, 16.
I can't even do that in my head. So, and record this in step 8. If the team score is lower than the average individual score, which it is, then there is a plus value which indicates a net gain in your survival knowledge as a direct result of your team communication. If the team score is higher than the average individual score, there's a negative value which indicates a net loss in your survival knowledge as a direct result. So looks like we did that well. All right, step 9 is the lowest individual score on your team. So which team member had the lowest individual sum score, which was?
I think it was Olivia.
Olivia with 24. And that goes in step 9. And then determine which team members, if any, had lower individual sum scores that were lower than the team score. So that would be 2. Because Olivia and I had, Olivia had 24, I had 34. The average individual, or no, sorry, I was looking at the average individual.
It'd be 0.
0, okay. Which lower than this member had no special.
Also, what team are we?
Team 1, it said. I think everybody's probably team 1 because that's just what the instructions said. So I'll have our names. I'll include our names when I submit this link in the Dropbox for the assignment. Okay, so we have all our calculations done. And it says, as a team, discuss or consider the following. Did you, as a team, live by staying put at the crash site or die? So we decided we've lived. Yay! In either case, as a team, did you live or die smarter or dumber? Oh, this is blunt. But
we live smarter.
yes, we definitely got smarter. So average individual score 38.5 and the team score was 22. So yeah. So now it says, take a few minutes to carefully note the following team performance data sheet. I don't know if you all have that in front of you, which shows the results of others who have done the same simulation with varying results. So, average individual score. It says 63.2. Wow, why do we seem so far off there? On winning team 60.5, on losing team 67 for average individual score. And average team score was 54.3. Average? I guess I'm not sure the significance of that or why our numbers are different. Anyone have an opinion on that or an idea on that?
You're looking at the desert survival team performance data sheet?
Yeah, on page 7.
Page 7?
Yeah, of that assignment that has the guidelines on it. Instructions.
I don't know how they got that high because it says the numerical difference. So it shouldn't be that high.
Right. Otherwise, you would have been, it seems like you would be way off.
Right.
So let's look at the back. So if you look at page 8, with an average team score, the lower the team, I wonder if the numbers were different because this doesn't make sense.
No.
Obviously, the lower the team score, the higher you would be predicted to, higher your level of performance.
They might have had bigger group numbers.
Oh, yeah.
They had more people in their group.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because if you go down to the average gain, well, again, I don't know if that makes that wouldn't make a difference either if it's higher there. But so I don't know what our numbers compare. It says
on the desert survival simulation team performance data sheet, it says the average individual score is 63.2.
Yeah.
That means ours were a lot lower.
I know, but we were just saying that it doesn't seem like that doesn't seem right. Like, why would there be? That seems high. Like
I mean, we had a couple of them in the right spots. So
yeah,
imagine if all of them were in the wrong spots.
Yeah.
Especially if you had like 1 as 15 or 15 as 1.
Well, and also if you, if
the small ones make a huge difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you had originally chosen to walk and the team convinced you to stay, that would be a big difference too. So
we all had the cosmetic mirror up there pretty high, and I think that's something that could be overlooked by a lot of other people.
Yeah, in the water. And we all started with the salt tablets at the lowest. So
yeah,
I would be interested to see what the scores are for the other teams class. I don't know how many there are. It does say, note that for previous winning teams, the average gain was about 3 points.
We gained a lot.
Yeah.
We gained 16.
And then it says what we've been doing. Share with each other how your team scores compared to this and the other scores listed. Determine which team type configuration most closely matches yours. So obviously we are college. Now, I think that was for performance. I think they're referring to the makeup. So we have 1 male and 3 females.
Probably the 4 females, 1 male.
Yeah, and so see, that also explains the numbers because they had 5 people in the groups.
Yeah.
We only had 4. That's why their numbers were higher.
Yep.
So, why do you think that certain team types or configurations scored differently? So with the group with 4 females and 1 male, like what we had, well, again, it's hard to compare because they had 5 people and we only had 4. But average team score was 58, average individual score was 67.9, and the difference was 9.5. So the all-female group had the biggest gain. So it looks like they worked better together than individually. I mean, and just, you know, obviously they worked well together and were able to make good decisions.
Okay.
But then, yeah, otherwise,
There's not that big of differences. But
right.
I think I think when the male and female groups that had both, they did better. Except for the last one, it was 3 males, 2 females.
Yeah, they didn't have a significant gain.
Huh.
So it says, what does this say about the importance and value of communication, problem solving in the groups? Well, I don't know if they're saying that the female scoring the highest had the highest gain, if that means that they.
Yeah, I think that's what the data shows.
That's what it's showing.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think about probably males have more baseline knowledge of survival skills in general.
Yeah, but I think like some of those, I don't think a male would have been like, oh yeah, cosmetic mirror.
Yeah.
If it was like a whole group of them.
Yeah. Unless they thought of it for the.
Yeah.
I think this exercise was more for like the communication around. Like, because most people don't have survival knowledge, so.
Right. Yes.
Just communication skills.
Yeah. And just, and the fact that we were able to, you know, talk through each item and its value and, you know, the multiple uses that can be used for each item. So, yeah, it's definitely, you're right, Andrew, not about survival. It's about communication and how you work together as a team.
Right.
So, Olivia, you've been pretty quiet for a while. Feel like I've been talking too much. You have anything more to add? How did you feel it all went?
No, I definitely think it depends on how well your group worked together, and I think we definitely agreed on a lot of it.
Yeah, and it probably helped that nobody had really strong opinions about, you know, anything. That we were all pretty open-minded about everything.
Good communication.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And we're able to talk it out pretty easily. So
yeah, this group did a lot better than when I did this at Iowa State.
Oh, really? And in what way? What were your challenges in that group?
Well, there was just a lot of butting heads.
Really?
And so they like wouldn't budge on a lot of things.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just took forever. And it was in person, but I kind of prefer to do it online. I feel like there's less of a chance to butt heads. Yeah. And yeah, it was not fun. I think there was 5 of us.
Interesting. And it was the same thing in a desert.
It was a different type of speech class, but yeah.
Interesting. Well, hopefully the rest of our group projects, we can work well together and get through it, and it won't be painful.
I'm curious if we'll have to do the other group thing I did. They like gave you a list of people and then you had to choose which ones you wanted to like kill off.
Oh no.
It was like a hostage situation. You had to like choose who you would save. That took an entire like hour and 40 minutes.
Right. Well, they may make it more challenging as the class goes on to challenge our communication skills and teamwork. So we'll see how it goes. But is there anything else? I feel like we've gone through all the steps. We've completed the ranking sheet. Everybody have all their boxes filled out?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't, you can let me know. Otherwise, it looks like we can complete the recording. I'll submit the recording to the Dropbox. I'll send it. Well, all of you have the link, so you can watch it again if you want. And then everybody's responsible for doing their own reflection paper. Yep. Anybody have any other final thoughts or concluding points? Nope. All right. Well, thanks everybody for working together to find a time to meet tonight. And it might be interesting over the summer, and we'll do our best to work together to, when we have these group projects, to accommodate everybody. I do work full time, but I do have some flexibility in my schedule that I can, if the daytime works better, that I could make that work around my meetings. And anybody going to be gone at any time during the summer where unavailable?
No.
Okay.
No,
I don't think so.
All right. I am going to be in Florida for a couple weeks, but I'll have my laptop with me, so we have a.
We'll get a nice, beautiful background.
Yeah, I'll sit on the pool deck, and you can see the ocean in the background.
As long as you get us souvenirs.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and I'm sure we will talk again soon.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.